I was saying about Muslims, I was saying, personally I don't want Islam in this country, but I believe that we need to adapt some of the ideals of Islam, but not Islam, to the old existing people here.
So when you say you don't want Islam in this country, you don't mean Muslims. Are Muslims welcome and Islam not welcome? Is that the distinction you're making? Or are you saying, you know, like Trump, he's clear that Muslims not welcome. In your view, are Muslims welcome in this country or Islam not welcome? Which one are your
Muslims.
Muslims are not welcome.
The reason why is because I'm more into preserving like English, not just culture but also its people. And the main thing that's endangering that is the immigration from Islamic countries or from outside of Europe into Europe. It's not so much I have a problem with Muslims.
So it's basically immigration, not Muslims.
It's not so much I have a problem with Islam, more problem with people from outside coming into here.
So it's not an Islamic problem that you have, it's immigration.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. Right.
Obviously, like, yeah, that's more of it, pretty much.
Yeah, but in terms of Islam, Islam and its values, do you agree or disagree with them?
I don't agree with like Allah and all this, but I appreciate and I agree with some of the things such as like subjugating women and
Islam subjugates women.
No, like having like a patriarchy with men and women, like women sort of being like housekeepers and.
Where do you get that from? From culture or from Islam?
Is that from Islam?
No, I mean I guess, but I'm saying in Islam a lot like women tend to be, as they say, half of a man.
No. This is interesting. I mean, I'm having really a fun discussing with you because you're like a very, an example of how people, perceive about a religion and its teaching based on the actions of the people.
No,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's not about Islam, or about the people.
What I'm saying
outside.
is, I agree with you that if we were to take Islam from the actions of the Muslims, I probably would get a wrong picture about Islam. Because Muslims are not representing their values and principles and the teachings of what Islam says. So if we were to judge Islam by the actions of the people, I would agree with you. That's not the religion, perhaps, the true religion. Or that's not the way of life that we should follow and adopt in any society. But then again, we should be asking ourselves this question, right? Are Muslims following their religion? If Muslims...
Some of them are.
If Islam says, do not kill innocent people, and you see people blowing up in 7/7.
I don't really care too much about terrorist attacks. I don't care about that.
You don't? I do. Terrorist attacks?
Yes, so I'm being honest here. Like, obviously they kill women, it's a horrible thing. But it's only a minority.
What about women? What do you consider Islam's take on women is?
Does
Islam consider... There's quite a few women around, right? I don't have to speak on women's behalf.
I don't think they should have to be covering up. But I like the way you guys have like arranged marriages.
Let's talk about cover up. Let's talk about covering up. Why do we wear clothes? What's the purpose?
I don't think they should. I don't think it should be like that, like having a cover up. I don't think it's very good looking. I don't think I don't want to be looking at people.
When you say covering up, you mean how women's dress, right?
Yeah, I guess I just don't like. I don't think they're very fashionable burqas. I don't think they exactly look very sexy, and I just don't. I
don't like red caps.
Brother,
well,
I think you hit the nail on the head. You actually hit the nail on the head. Did you notice what he said?
I know why you had them because they're on the very.
No. You hit the nail on the head. You closed the issue. There's no further discussion. You know what? You considered the burqas are not very fashionable, but that's not my point. Not very sexy. They're precisely for that reason not to be, so that you don't look at them as a sexual object. Wait, slow down.
Wait.
Burqas are meant to give you a barrier, an obstacle, which gives you this impression they're not objects of sexual nature. That is what the purpose of your burqa would be, right? There are actually human beings behind the burqa who have an intellect and who have perhaps more.
Yes, but I think there are better ways to go around than wear burqa.
Look, clever than you are. No, what I'm saying is, burqas are designed to stop people from looking at them in a sexual nature. Because it's a loose clothing that goes over your body.
No. You can wear normal clothing without wearing a burqa. And
A burqa's purpose.
Obsessively. I know you can wear normal clothing.
Let me tell you historically.
Without having to be like sexy.
Wait. Slow down. Historically, in the Arabian society, there were lots of women, and they had their services around for man. Right? Man can go and use their services, like we have today. Prostitution houses. Yeah, legalized prostitution houses. When Islam commanded for women to draw the veils of her head and cover the bosoms, is to distinguish her from those loose women, so that she is seen to be a woman of what? Higher status. That she is a woman of a higher status of what kind? She's a righteous woman. She is not a loose woman. That she needs to be treated with care, respect. Not you molest her. The Quran says so that you're not molested. Because if you are, look, if you see a woman wearing bikinis and go on here and walking past, a lot of men will follow her. With the intent of what? Sexual nature. Let's go and chat up with this woman or girl or bird, they say, right? That's what they do. This is what this clothing attracts. But when you have someone covering herself, she's telling you,
yes, but
look.
I'm not saying
she's giving you a signal that I am not a sexual object.
No, I'm not.
Do you get that?
I get that. But
you don't get it?
I said I get it. I get it totally.
Very good. But that serves its purpose.
No, I'm saying the English people can do it in their own way. A similar thing, but in their own way. They need to make their own decisions and their own way of doing this kind of stuff.
Can I ask some of you this question? Have you made your own decisions to wear what you wear?
Yes. You know, but I mean, but in an English way. Obviously, they're doing it according to their culture and their religion.
I would like you to have a conversation with a Muslim woman who, on her own way, decided on her own will to dress like this.
Yes, obviously, but
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
It's not English people. Culture. Yes, come on.
Okay, is that from your culture?
Basically, I wasn't wearing one until I decided to wear one.
Yes, obviously you decided to, but that's because people around you and it's already a pre-existing kind of thing. It's only a pre-existing concept. But I believe that English people
why don't
make
you
their own
take her own admission what she says rather than no. Why is this barrier automatically? No, you're not right. Let me tell you why you foreign. It's like this, my friend. No, let me tell you why you wear your burqa or your scarf. Because your father tells you, your husband tells you. No, she's telling you no. She's wearing it on her own accord.
Yes, I know that. I'm not saying that's necessarily true. I'm not saying that's necessarily true. But my thing is that it doesn't. You have your way of doing stuff, and this kind of idea of a burqa, it comes from the Middle East, and it should say that. But if we want a similar thing here, come from Islam, it only comes from the Middle East.
Are you saying people? Are you saying people before Islam were not dressing very modestly, covering their head?
I'm not necessarily saying
have
that.
you heard?
I'm saying
have you ever seen
nowadays,
a picture?
People wear burqas nowadays are generally
one example. Have you ever seen a picture of Virgin Mary without her head covering? Have you ever seen anywhere? Just something. Which country are you from?
I was born in Russia, but
in Russia. Have you seen in Russia the picture of a Virgin Mary?
Oh no, I knew they covered up, but that's according to their culture.
Is that before Islam or after Islam?
I'm not. It doesn't matter when.
Right.
I'm saying. I've got nothing against that. I never said I had anything against covering up.
What we established.
I never said anything. But what I said is they made their own way of doing it.
No, what we have established is
we can make our way of doing
burqas or hijab.
We don't need Islam to make our own way of covering up. For example,
my friend.
We can do it in our own way.
Do you agree now?
No, I never said
hijab did not come from Middle East. Do you now agree?
No, I know. People always because I'm like
that's what I said. It's a Middle East thing.
No, but I'm saying, that does not mean that Islam belongs here. Like I said, we can make our
Islam
own
doesn't belong here
with covering up. Women can cover themselves up here, but not having to be Islamic.
Judaism belongs here, man.
What?
Judaism belongs here.
No,
okay, which religion belongs here?
None.
Which religion?
I know, but in the end, it's all in the same principle. It's all under the same idea, general idea of Islamic. Islam.
We have guidelines.
No, I'm saying it's the same. Come on, you guys are Muslims.
Now
it generally goes back to a similar idea. You guys may be dressed differently, but go back to a similar idea. Obviously, for example, like Christians can cover themselves up. But I know that. But that's them choosing their own way, Christians. But it does not mean that you guys have to come here and cover up.
Why can't
Which religion belongs here?
Why can't we?
Because this is a place for the people of Europe who've been here for a long time. People of Europe.
So what's the big deal? It's a free.
Are you English, by the way? Are you English?
I told you.
You don't belong here too?
No, but no, the reason.
Do you belong here?
No, I'll tell you why.
No, I want to ask you
no.
this question first,
No,
then tell me why.
I-
Do you belong here? And then continue
Yes,
answer.
I do.
But you're not English, are
No,
you?
there's a reason for that. I'll tell you.
So if there is a reason, we can belong.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
No, there's difference. There's difference between someone from Europe, who's quite closely related group, going around at the moment. Like in obviously in an idealistic world, I prefer like things to generally be more close. But at the moment, like we have mass immigration into Europe from all around the world.
Britain is not going to be part of Europe anymore, right? Is that correct?
Oh my God! Just because they're not part of the European Union does not mean they're not part of Europe. Obviously.
All right. So it doesn't matter politically where you're from, right?
Yes.
So if you're from Middle East, it's okay.
No, it's not about that. It's about other races coming from their place to here and demographically replacing.
Like yourself, a Russian.
No, like I said, no.
Why are you welcome
This
here?
is what I'm saying. You
I want to
don't
know.
what I'm
Okay.
saying.
I
What
want
I'm
to
saying
know. Is Russia in Europe?
All of Europe.
Is Russia in Europe?
At the moment, it's where I come from is in Europe.
But
Wherever the part of Russia I come from is in Europe.
okay. So it's the
Obviously,
European.
Russia's
Okay,
in
fair
Europe.
enough.
It may not
So what
be
we understand
considered Europe as part of
now,
Europe.
what we understand this issue is all about whether you're European or not. Is Europeans a supreme race or
I'm
high
not saying
race?
that. I'm not saying they're superior, but I'm saying in order for
Very
Europeans
good.
to survive as a race, they need their own area, and they don't want immigration.
So
in.
are you saying Europe, in its entirety, have values which are better than values from, say?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the values are better. I'm saying, in my view, it's not so much about values. It's more about preserving the people in the place. It's like it's about preserving the people.
Okay. So if Islam came here, do you think it will not preserve the values of the English people?
No, it's not about that. To me, it's more about people because Islam comes here by having people come here from outside of Europe.
Yeah.
That's how Islam comes here. It doesn't come here by persuading
If
the
it comes,
existing population.
if it comes here, are you of the opinion that it's going to somehow not preserve the values of Britain?
If it came here, and no one from outside came,
Talk about me.
and there was
Look.
people here choosing.
Why
to
talk about
join
other people?
Islam,
Do I look like British?
then- no,
I'm not English.
I know that.
I've come here in this country.
I know that.
Yeah?
I know you're not like English.
Very good. So now, why am I not all welcome? Because I provide services and
This way, I think
slow down.
it's not about services. What is the point of having a good economy and having services provided by people from outside if in the end it's going to lead to your people no longer existing? You've got to think
So
in the long
how
term.
have myself made your people, the Europeans,
It's
non-existent?
It's simple.
What have I done?
It's like
What have I done?
By being here,
Yeah.
you're competing with the native people. It's just by being here, you're being a competitor. That's all it is. It's just simple. If you exist on
So basically, the Europeans should remain in Europe. They shouldn't go holidays to Barbados.
I'm not saying that. There's like you can be like, for example, Japan. Japan has a closed
No,
allow
you-
immigration, but people can still travel
No,
around.
your
There's
argument-
a difference between millions of people going around and staying somewhere permanently and starting families than going somewhere like I don't mind. For example, Muslims coming in for a year or two,
You know what?
studying, going back home.
For a
There's a difference
second,
between that and staying.
I want to agree with you and I say, look, how many Europeans are there in outside Europe? Get them all back.
No, like I said.
No. Get them all. First thing we have to do is this: get all this European back because
this is the way
they're
I think of it.
competing
This is the way I
against
think of it.
the other people in those countries.
This
So
is
now,
the way-
what are you doing to get them all back?
No, this is the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I can't police the rest of the world. I can only do what I can do in Europe. So in Europe, I would close my borders in Europe.
No, what are you
And then
doing with
it's
the
rest of
Europeans
those jobs.
who are
It's still-
outside,
that
like in
country's
America,
job.
for example?
It's that country's job to get, like for example, if there were English people in China, it'd be the Chinese people's job to get the British people out of China, not the British government's job to get the people out of China.
You, according to your principle, which you uphold so much, you should really get your house in order first.
No,
right?
that's not-
And then say, look, Europeans from China,
This is the way the world
come back
works.
to Europe.
This is the way the world works.
Then otherwise you'll be considered a hypocrite.
No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's a hypocrite. That's the way people who are a hypocrite win. It's just simple fact. If you're a hypocrite, you'll be more successful. It doesn't matter being a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite can be a good thing. It makes you more successful.
Really?
It does.
Very interesting ideology.
It does. Because, for
Okay.
example,
Is your ideology based on a belief in God or in the absence of God?
I get
I want to really get this conversation in one central point. Is your thinking, your principles, your values, your ideology based on a belief in God or belief in the absence of a God?
I personally, I don't necessarily believe in God, but I understand the importance of religion.
That may make sense.
But
If you don't believe in a God, look,
appreciate
if you don't believe in a God, people can be really messed up. Let me tell you how people can be messed up. Because people have no objective moral standards. No objective moral standards. Because all you will have...
standards.
Listen,
I do have moral standards, even though
what did I
I'm not
say?
religious.
What did I say? Did I say you have no moral standards or you have no objective moral standards?
You make your own standards through society. Like, you know not to rob a shop, for example. It's you don't need to be religious not to know not to do that.
If some people consider with their moral standards, it's okay for mass migration into their country. Like, imagine you are one isolated case. Every other English people, very good people, they said, we are okay with migration. Now, that's their moral standards. Would you be okay with that?
No, I'm saying, obviously, I would disagree with them.
Doesn't matter. Would you be okay with it?
I can't change it, obviously.
So you have to be okay with it?
Obviously, I'm not okay with it. But
why not?
I can't change it.
So
Because
basically
I don't want the European people
do you now realize
being made a minority.
the moral standards that you have, your moral standards against their moral standards, right? So isn't it better to have an objective moral standards? Because otherwise you'll be so fluctuating from time to time, place to place, and you will be in real mess.
Yeah, no, but
do you agree in principle there should be what we call an anchor, a standard,
the real reason why I don't
which
believe in
we use
religion
to judge
is because
our behavior?
The simple thing is, I just think, for example, for me personally, I just think science, for example, just is like the truth.
Can science give us an objective moral standard?
No, but it can't. But it can give you.
Wait.
It can help you a lot. It can give you medicine.
Are you saying? No, you see what you're doing? We call park the thought. The discussion is: can science give us objective moral standards?
Obviously not, because science is not about morals. It's
Good.
about facts.
That was actually what we call a red herring argument, isn't it? Or a straw man? Which one?
Yeah, but I never said that. But I'm saying science about facts. But obviously,
okay. So don't bring science in. Look, we are for science. We gave you science. What are you talking about? If it wasn't for Islam, then Europe would be in dark. Oh yes, I want to make this point. Look, I want to make your face. I want to make your face very happy. If it wasn't for Islamic contact with Europe, Europe would be in dark ages, living in filth. If it wasn't for Islam, we gave you the taste of science. Then you had your Renaissance.
I'm sure they would have found their way.
I'm sure.
I am sure.
No,
it would have gone both ways.
It is a fact of reality.
It would have gone both ways. Obviously, when you go somewhere, both people benefit.
So now you realize Islam is not against science. So now we're talking about your not believing in a God must be for a reason. Let us explore what is the reason for denying or rejecting something that is obvious.
It's not obvious. I don't see any proof.
Okay. So this universe, it came from... Go on, your answer is? Obviously, if there is no God...
I personally believe it may be one of those questions you just can never answer. But is it more likely that some God came out of nowhere than the universe existing?
So anything that comes from somewhere...
Deciding to make the universe?
Let me agree with you something. Anything that comes into existence is not God. Because before coming to existence...
obviously God had to come from somewhere, so if he was real... God, don't give me that. God has just always existed. Everything has to come from somewhere.
If you have a God coming into existence, that is not God. I reject that first.
Yes, and where did God come from? Obviously God had to come from somewhere.
Now,
because everything has to come from somewhere.
Let's understand that. Let's understand.
One thing doesn't come from somewhere.
Let's explore something. Can something come out of nothingness?
Well, what's also more likely? God is... I'm for religion.
No.
What's more likely?
What we're asking is, can something come out of nothingness?
You use God to explain stuff that you don't understand, or some being appeared out of nowhere. No, obviously, I'm not saying science is, obviously there's many things about science we don't know, but science has helped us a hell of a lot. It has given your clothing. It's not always.
What I'm asking you, I'm going to show you something from the Quran.
Science is neutral.
I'm going to show you
science
something.
Is neither good or bad.
I'm
It
going
just
to show
helps.
you
It's a
something
tool.
from the Quran in a second. Anyone can help me with the reference? When Allah says, أعوذ بالله الشيطان الرجيم, أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون. I'll give you the reference and I'll show you in English, right? What this statement in the Quran says, were they created from nothingness? Yep. أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون. Were they themselves the creators? Third point, أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض. Did they create the heaven and the earth? It ends with a rhetorical statement, or a statement saying, بل لا يوقنون. They have no certainty. No certainty. So, first point, all of this, did it come from absolute nothingness?
Like I said, it was one of those things you can never know.
We can know
Personally,
easily.
No, you know, personally,
Okay.
I think you cannot know because I wasn't around when it became the universe.
Do you know what nothingness
Obviously.
is? Nothingness is.
It's just lack of something.
Nothingness is simply the absence of anything.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I just
Absence of energy.
I know that's what it is, just the absence of everything. But
Let's
you're saying
let's conceptualize it.
God exists, so
My
he
friend,
obviously came from somewhere.
let's conceptualize this nothingness and see whether this nothingness can make something. This nothingness is the absence of anything, meaning absence of energy, matter, absence of time, quanta, fluctuations.
Actually, if you look at the Big Bang Theory,
Please,
it wasn't an absence.